Hi there, good morning. Welcome to this revision class for financial statements of limited companies. The purpose of this course is to help you or prep you for a retake. So ordinarily you would have already been in a live class, and this will not be the first time you're hearing these concepts. Our aim is to use the slides to refresh ourselves on the key issues, and then I will recommend some questions from the exam kit that you will do, and I will also do some of them as well. And that's really it, to hit questions straight away and to sort of tackle sort of some basic conceptual issues that you might be struggling with. So today, this first class is on, we're going to be covering chapter 1 to 3. And then the next class will cover maybe chapter 4 and 5, that sort of thing. Okay, let's go. So what is the purpose of the entire unit, as you're thinking all along, is if you've come through level 3, you're already thinking, okay, I actually understand what's going on with just a singular or one company. So you need to, again, if you like, remind yourself about what a company is. When we say talk about the financial statements, you're thinking, okay, financial statements, statement of financial position, statement of profit and loss, right? You want to be sort of comfortable with that again. You want to know how to prepare a balance sheet or your statement of financial position. You want to remember how to prepare your income statement. You had to do this at level 3, where you did, if you like, your revenue minus cost of sales and gross profit. But now we're talking about companies. So things are just a little bit slightly complicated. The other issue here is when we're talking about consolidated, we're talking about bringing two companies together, where one is controlled by the other. The secondary thing we want to be able to do now is to bring analysis to the table. So when we say analyze, we want to compare. We're really comparing and contrasting using ratio analysis. And ratio analysis is, if you like, a benchmark way of looking or analyzing anything really. Right, let's carry on. Now, reporting frameworks. Now, frameworks, I mean, it's really what it's saying there, a framework, if you like. There you are, benchmarks that we use to guide us to determine whether or not you have met or not met a certain requirement, or principles, if you like, that guide us. Here we are. As to how to report on something or declare something, to say whether or not it is true and fair, really, and therefore enabling us to compare with other other companies or other financial statements, that sort of thing. Again, like I said, this idea of preparing financial statements, if you like, and also this idea of consolidating financial statements and interpreting them. So that when you're thinking financial statements of limited companies, this is sort of what you're always thinking of, this sort of thing. Right, you know this already. 8 tasks, computer-based, 2 hours, 30 minutes, right, and you need 70%. Right, let's jump in straight away. I'm going to do chapter 1 to 3 in this first class. So regulatory frameworks. What are we saying here? So you need to know, first of all, they're starting off with a legal framework. I'm just going to go with the slides, but and as I go with the slides, I'll keep reiterating about how this has really happened. The truth is, nobody wants legality in their lives. So the truth is, if you could just live life based on principles and hoped everyone else did. So when I say principles, if you like moral laws or moral standards that we expect of everyone else, we wouldn't need laws, right? But it's because people kind of try and avoid these moral standards for one reason or the other, we now need laws to protect each other. So really, overall, the arching guide to how we do things or prepare a set of accounts are embedded within the Companies Act 2006. So the Companies Act pretty much says follow the standards, do what it says, if you like, and if you don't, well, you're in trouble. So and there could always be additional standards depending on the organization involved. So like I said, before we had the law, we had standards. So these standards, and if you like, standards are internally generated by the body of people. They say, listen, we're going to form a guild, and really a guild of accountants, and this is how we're going to behave. we're going to use international financial reporting standards. Now, it says international because, as you can imagine, many countries have their own financial reporting standards. So in the UK, we have the FRC, and they used to set, well, they still set a lot of the local standards here in the UK. But of course, we want to harmonize, and we want to make sure that we are everyone is doing exactly the same thing right around the world, because if you like, we have global markets now, so we start to try and align with the international financial reporting standards. So you can see here it is mandatory for listed UK companies. So once you're global that way, then yes, we expect you to be using international financial reporting standards. And how are these standards sort of set? So we have something called the International Financial Reporting Standards Foundation. Something gives me, I have a hint that they're in New York somewhere. And if you like, underneath them, you have what's referred to as the International Accounting Standards Board, right? And then you also have the International Financial Reporting Standards Advisory Committee. So this is all just a nice, gentle theory for you to sort of, and then these people gather together regularly to discuss different standards depending on what we're talking about in financial statements, to make it more and more relevant or reliable, or how would people interpret it, if you like. So they'll send it out to a range of accountants and ask them what their interpretation is on a certain matter, and then gather again and come up with something. So that's chapter 1. So for chapter 1, the question I need you to do in the textbook is to do question 11 in your exam kit. Question 11, chapter 1. This is an exam kit for the study text year 2017-18. Yeah, yeah, 17-18. So do that question just to firm your knowledge up, and do it this way because, like I say, this is revision, and you want to make sure that you're comfortable with each of these chapters as you're going along. So just step by step, look at this, and then jump in and do a question. And you can always email me if there are any issues. Okay, great stuff. That's the end of chapter 1. See you in chapter 2.